Hi guys, welcome to this week's ACCA predictions. And great news, if you were on last week's predictions on the 2nd of September, we dropped a nice winner, 33-1. So hopefully you were on that and you made a little bit of money thanks to some good results last week in League 1 and League 2, and eventually Croatia's match going ahead against Kosovo. But quite a few bookmakers paid you out on the day anyway when it was originally postponed. So yeah, great win there. We've had quite a few wins this week over the last 7 days. I think we had a 7-1 and a 6-1 winner as well. So you'll be well in profit this week if you followed all our tips on Twitter. So getting into this week, we have the return of the Premier League, but I'm not going to actually be picking any of the Premier League games. But we do have the Championship back, and that is where we start. So I'm going for Wolves against Millwall, the first game, and we're going for a Wolves home win. Now, Wolves have started the season pretty well, and you know, it's surprising really, because I thought that they would probably, have a little bit of struggle at the start of the season. A lot of new players to bed in, new manager, new style, new ways of working, new, playing styles, etc. But no, they've really just sort of hit the ground running, and they're looking pretty decent. I've had one or two sort of hiccups recently. They started the season pretty much with straight wins, but recently they've dropped a few points, but still looking pretty strong. And at home, I'm imagining that they're going to be able to pick up this win against a Millwall team who although they got a great win against Norwich last time out, are still a team who I'm tipping to be in a relegation scrap. And I think home form for them is going to be really key at the Den. From what I've read and seen this season, they've actually played really well there, even though they'd lost a couple of the previous games. They'd actually created a hell of a lot of chances, but away from home is where I can see them struggling, and I think Wolves will probably just have a little bit too much quality in their ranks, and yeah, I think they'll easily dispose of Millwall. So that's our first game. So we're going for a Wolves win there. Second game is going to be Charlton against Southend. So we're going for a Charlton home win. Now, Charlton Athletic were one of my tips at the start of the season to be up there in the promotion hunt. As I said before, I thought Cole Robinson had recruited well, but also retained key players such as Ricky Holmes, who, again, I said in the season preview, for me is the best player, or one of the best players in the league, and has pretty much shown that again, scoring fantastic goals, creating plenty of chances for his teammates, and the return of Josh McGuinness as well this weekend is going to give them another boost really in the firepower league. Losing Novak and Nicky Josie, recently for Charlton doesn't really sort of hurt them. Billy Clark's been getting goals. Dodo got his goal on his debut after signing from Rangers. So I'm not imagining they're going to struggle to score goals. And like I said, with McGuinness back from international duty, I think they'll be absolutely fine. And contrast that to Southend, who last year were doing really well. Were one of the sort of the promotion push teams really, and this year they've really been very sort of poor in defence and letting lots of goals in. I just think a trip to the Valley is not going to really be the best thing for them, if I'm honest. Bang out of form at this moment in time. Phil Brown's got a bit of a task on his hands there to try and find that winning formula from last season. And as I say, a trip to the Valley is probably not what he's wanting. So I'm going to go with a home win there to Charlton. So we move on to the next game, which sees us in League One still, and we're going with a Fleetwood home win against Oldham Athletic. So Fleetwood didn't play last time out. They had a week off due to the international break. They were due to play Blackburn. But before that, they started the season really well, topping the table, and they were winning games quite easily. They nearly lost one of their sort of star strikers, Devante Cole, during the transfer window. Was heavily linked with a move to Sheffield United. That didn't materialise in the end. A deal couldn't get over the line. So that's United's loss, Fleetwood's gain. And yeah, I think he's going to be a key player for them going forward. Contrast that again to Oldham, who have had an appalling start to the season, losing all their games so far in the league, and John Sheridan's men, looking very low on confidence. I think there was another kick in the teeth of them last week when they managed to get the game against Charlton back to 2-2, only to get a man sent off and end up losing it 4-3, I think it was in the end, at home. So that's another sort of a hammer blow really to the confidence of the players. And I'm just not quite sure whether a trip to Fleetwood is something that they probably want to try and get themselves back on track. So for the next game I am going for a Fleetwood home win. So the next game after that one for me is going to be Oxford at home against Gillingham. Again, Oxford started the season pretty well. New manager, new players, all seem to be bedding quite nicely. I've had some good results so far this season, and notoriously, are going to be strong at home. Again, Gillingham not had the best start to the season. I think they've only picked up one win in the cup so far, none in the league. Losing games by odd goals. He's not really helping with the confidence really down there, and I fully expected Gillingham at the start of the season to be in a relegation scrap, and unfortunately I think that's looking very true. So for me, Oxford again at home against Gillingham. I just think Oxford's superior quality. We'll see them over the line in that one. So next, now this is a game, I'm going to miss this game out actually, and I'm going to come to it last. No, I will do it actually, so sorry, I'll do it. It's Rochdale at home against Blackburn. Now I'll explain to you why I was going to leave it till the last at the end of the video. So we'll go with this one. So Rochdale, again last season, start of the season, we're involved in a playoff push. Now this season, not the best of starts. Keith Hill's men last week, they had Ian Henderson sent off, and that's a big blow for them. He's a key player for their attack, just generally they are struggling to score goals, which would surprise a lot of people, because last year that was one thing they didn't. We've got some decent forwards in there, but like I said, the loss of Henderson for this game is not going to help them one bit, and the guys in this Lancashire derby probably don't want Blackburn Rovers heading into town, who just starting to find their feet in League One now, won their last couple of games, had the international break off as well. As I said, they were due to play Fleetwood, so they've been able to rest up and are ready, firing and in form. And I just think that Blackburn will, with the quality that they've got in that, especially in that midfield and attacking areas, are just going to be able to have too much firepower really for that Rochdale team, who are struggling to score goals at this moment in time. So so the next pick for me would be Blackburn away at Rochdale. Now again, staying in League One, it's very much a League One dominated ACCA this week, is Rotherham United at home against Bury. Now Rotherham had a mixed start to the season. We're probably struggling to adjust to life in League One after a couple of seasons in the Championship. Paul Warne, has been in the job for quite a while now. He's, again, another big overhaul of players in the summer. He's brought a lot of his own men in. And I saw the game last week against Portsmouth, and for me, they looked like they were just starting to click into gear now. A lot of new players were all starting to find their feet. I'm fully expecting Rotherham now to start climbing up that table. And I think this will start with a home game against Bury. Bury under Lee Clark, I think I went against them last week for a Scunthorpe win. Same reasons really, if they can't score a goal, and if you can't score a goal, then you're going to bloody struggle. I just think that Bury are in for a very hard season. That, like I said last week, missing those James Vaughan goals is absolutely massive to them really. And they brought Beckford in, and he's not really sort of hit the heights just yet. Whether he needs a few more games to sort of get up and running. I know he had a few chances last week which he missed, but I just think again, probably don't want to have that away trip to a Rotherham team who are starting to pick up some good form. So I'm going to go with a Rotherham win in that one. So our final game comes from League Two, and that is Luton Town versus Swindon. Now, Luton on the road recently, they've played quite a few matches away now, not picking up the wins, but not losing either really, except they lost one at Barnet, and I think they've drawn the last two. And, you know, coming back home comfort's very strong at home, scoring plenty of goals. And yeah, I just think that not many teams are going to go to Kenilworth Road this season and get much. If you know, a point, never mind getting a win. And I think Luton have just got too many attacking options. Only one thing to note is that Collins is facing a late fitness test, but in Danny Hilton, they've got enough goals still from last season. He was the top scorer, and he's more than sort of, I wouldn't say an adequate replacement, because together they're a formidable partnership. But Luton will still have enough firepower there, even if Collins doesn't make it. So contrast that again, Swindon. Got a real good whooping last week at home, beaten up a bit by Barnet of all teams. Barnet, who not expected to set the world on fire. Missing John Akinde as well, still managed to stick quite a few goals past Swindon. After sort of a bright start to the season, I remember commenting 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think, when I did an ACCA, and I actually fancied Swindon to win at home against Crawley after a good start to the season. But ever since then, losing that home game against Crawley seems to have affected their confidence badly, and they're really struggling, and it's hard to see where that sort of bad run's going to come to an end. And again, a trip to Luton is probably not really what they're looking for. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with a Luton home win against Swindon there. So that is our ACCA for this week. It's a 7-team ACCA. Now, this is what I was talking about with regards to the Blackburn game. So the 7-team ACCA there pays 60 to 1. Now, if you wanted to leave the Blackburn game out of this and you just wanted to go with the 6-team ACCA, you could do, and that is paying currently around about 25 to 1. So for me, I think there's 2 ACCAs there if you want to have a go at it. There's the one with the Blackburn game, and that's at 60 to 1, or the one without the Blackburn game, that's 25 to 1. Personally, I'll be sticking it on both, although I am confident I think Blackburn will get that win. Just, Rochdale are a good team, and it's just the fact that they bang out of form at the moment in time and not scoring goals like they were last season. They could click into gear at any time, hence why I'm just saying maybe best just to cover yourself and have one with Blackburn and one without. But with the Blackburn, obviously, it's a big boost at 60 to 1, so it's probably worth covering yourself on that one as well. So, that's me. Fingers crossed you get some winners, just like we did last week. Don't forget to spread the word. Again, great comments from people on Twitter and on YouTube. Give me a follow. The description, at FootyBet Tipster with a 1 instead of the I. It's in the description on the video. If people want to follow me on there, they'll see the tips throughout the week for all the other games, European games, midweek English games, which we're having some good success on as well. So until the next time, guys, take care. Well, that was a bit of a cock-up. I forgot to include the final game on that bet, so here it is. So ignore the previous bit that I've just said about that's the end of our ACCA. I've missed one off, and the odds are exactly the same, but I've just missed a team off. It's Notts County at home against Morecambe, so I'll very quickly rattle through this for you. So I've gone for Notts County, who've started the season tremendously well, scoring goals for fun, really. Looking a very strong bet for promotion this season. Kevin Nolan's really got his way of playing across to the players, and with the experienced strike force of Amiobi instead as well, helping along a lot of the youngsters, and they're looking very strong. Morecambe, as I've always said, they're always a team who are struggling for me against relegation all the time, and will be again this season, unfortunately. I think I mentioned in last week's video when I tipped them to lose against Accrington, they can't rely on Kev Ellison's goals, even though he did pop up and got another one last week. It was his first of the season, but he's 38 years old now, and they really do need to solve that problem, which they've had for a few seasons now, of who else is going to get the goals for them. And unfortunately, again, I can't see anyone being able to sort of step up and score that level of goals that are going to keep them away from trouble. So for the final one, we're going to go with a Notts County home win, which then does complete our ACCA. As I say, Blackburn in 60 to 1. Take the Blackburn game out, it's 24 to 1. So apologies for that anyway. Bad video editing from me. Okay guys, until the next one. Bye.